There was an 18-year-old guy who lived in a small town of the United States. He graduated from a local school. His name was Marcus Hadway. He was always a very silent and shy person who lived with his adoptive parent. He was told that both of his parents died in a car accident before he was born. At least, that was what he thought. On Halloween night, Marcus got out to a party, but something unexpected happened. While he was driving, a lightning hit his car, and he had a terrible accident, in which he lost the control. So it started to roll on, and it finally crashed against a tree, and finished on a river that was nearby the place of the accident. But that wasn't all. Marcus got really hurt, because he cut his tongue with a piece of glass of the car. But also, he had a very serious injuries in all his body, like in his right arm and on his left leg. 15 minutes later, the police arrived and found the car, but they didn't find Marcus' body. Marcus opened his eyes, and he was on a shore very far away from where he had the accident. He got injured, but something was wrong. At the moment he looked at his watch, and he made for that he was in a coma, and it had passed a week from the night he had the accident. But that wasn't the only thing strange. He went to talk to some people, to ask them what was going on, but he couldn't, because he didn't have a tongue. But there was something worse, and it was that people couldn't saw him, so he started to feel terrified. Then he fainted, and he had a vision. It was his biological mom, and she was with him. But he discovered that both of his real parents didn't actually die on a car accident. He discovered that they sold him for $5 to his adoptive parents. Marcus woke up and felt really angry and confused. So Marcus made for the place his parents were. But how could he talk to them without a tongue? And how could his parents saw him if he was invisible? Then, he realized that he could use telepathy, and he could enter on the people's mind to talk with them. So he went to see his biological parents. When he arrived to the town where his parents were, he saw an orphanage, and he entered. But then, he saw a woman that took after him. It was his mother. So he entered on her head and started to talk with her. But he discovered that his mother could see him too. Then he discovered that his mother killed his father. But that wasn't the only thing. His mother was the owner of the orphanage. But it wasn't a normal orphanage. It was a place in which his mother recollected kids that live on the street and sold them for $5 to any person. So he discovered that she actually wasn't his real mother. He felt so angry that he killed his mother by putting a knife into her chest, and then he cut her tongue and left it on the place the knife entered. Marcus was too confused that he didn't know what to do, so he got through his cousin Dave, which was like his best friend, for telling everything that happened. So when Dave received the call, he felt so happy because Marcus had been lost for 1 month. So Dave and the police were looking for him. But when Dave received the call, he couldn't hear anything because Marcus couldn't talk. But Dave started to hear a voice in his head. It was Marcus, which was using telepathy to communicate with him. Marcus told him to help him become normal, but Dave told him that he couldn't because he didn't know how to. Then Marcus got really angry because of what his cousin told him, and he decided that he could use his abilities to make justice. Nobody knew anything about Marcus for 2 months, but multiple murders were reported in those 2 months, and all of those murders had something in common. They all were killed by a knife, and they had their tongue on the place the knife entered. But that wasn't the only thing. They also were all cruel and nasty mothers who treat bad their kids or sold them. Dave knew that the person who killed that people was Marcus, because of the way he killed the people and the people that he killed. Dave started to get really scared because he was afraid that something happened to the people he loved. So Dave went to the police station and told Marcus' story. Nobody believed him, but then somebody did. It was Detective Jack. So when he heard the story, he decided to help him. So both Detective Jack and Dave planned a way to capture Marcus. But to find their location, they both looked at the murders that were reported. And then they had an order. So finally, they discovered that the next attack was going to be on a family house ruled by a nasty and mean mother, very close to their town. So they went to the house and waited to the time that Marcus came. Dave called Marcus by telepathy, and Marcus appeared. He was distracted talking with him, and at the time that Marcus and Dave were distracted talking, Officer Jack was reaching the gun with a special bullet that would kill Marcus. So Dave told Jack to attack and he shot the gun and the gun trespassed Marcus' head, but he didn't die. He just lost the ability of talking to some people, so he became a ghost forever. But some people say that Marcus is still looking for those bad parents, and he's looking for his revenge, the revenge of the No-Tongue Man.